We knew we were coming. Just like your ferry job in Blackwater.
Always brag. Anytime you get caught, somebody gave you up. So often it happens that way. You know, back then, wanted dead or alive, that was real. They didn't care how they brought you in, as long as they brought you in. All right, conductor's got balls, he's not letting it happen.
Go ahead and set up the detonator by those rocks over there.
Okay, sure.
Oh, so this is the Western. I happen to love Westerns, big fan of Western movies. I don't think we have enough of them now. I used to love watching John Wayne and Clint Eastwood and all those guys back then.
All right, that should do it. You head back up to the others. I got it from here.
A lot of crazy things happened out in the Wild West, I can tell you that much. Graphics are great on this, really great. Train robberies were big back then. Wasn't much they can do to stop them either. Gotta tell you, these cowboys had balls. You know, I'm watching the new series Yellowstone. You know, they're like the cowboy mafia out there.
Where did you find that moral? You said it was fine.
my fault.
Come on! You're pathetic. You know that? Here we go!
Pretty bold. He didn't make it. So now they're one guy short. What do they do now? How well planned was this? You know, the question, were they prepared? If they lost two guys, would they still have been able to go through with the robbery? With one guy?
Yeah, you're okay. Now, let's go slow this thing down.
They're going for it, either way. All right. Conductor's got balls. He's not letting it happen. Let me tell you, I know from experience, you don't take that many punches in the face and still able to fight back. But he got it? All right, train stopped. Where's the rest of the crew?
More guards coming out of that train car.
Gotta wonder how prepared they were back then. You know, the owners of the train, they knew, you know, that the possibility was that they can get robbed at any time.
Listen to me. We don't want to kill any of you. Any more of you. I give you my word, but trust me, we will.
I work for Leviticus Corps.
Come on, boys.
We got our orders.
Okay. You asked for it.
What would people do at that point? Give it up? Would they, you know, guard it with their lives? Or would they say, you know what, it's not worth it, man. They're gonna come in here, I'm not gonna risk my life for something like this.
Unless you got a death wish, I'd step back, fellers.
Now you wonder too, did they know, you know, what was on that train? Did they know what they were looking for? They just, you know, assuming there was something in there. It wasn't an inside job. Where did they get their information from? Take the chance of robbing something like that when you're not sure what you're going to get out of it? I don't know.
We just want to rob your boss.
Want to rob your boss? Rob of what?
Look at this place. It's like a palace.
Now I've seen everything.
Good looking train. It appears here they didn't know what they were going to find on this train. I don't know. You don't plan a robbery like that and know what's on it.
Sure. Bearer bonds. I think we can probably sell these pretty easily.
Back in the day, I dealt with bearer bonds. They're pretty valuable. Good thing about bearer bonds, paid to the bearer. Whoever holds them owns them.
It's up to you. Kill them, leave them here, take them with you on the train. Just make sure they don't send no folk after us.
See, that's a decision right there. You kill these guys, you know, or do you say, hey, they haven't seen us, we're in masks, they don't know who we are, we'll let them live. Brought up another point, you know, you get somebody after us, if they're alive. I think you let them live.
Okay, get on the train, quick, all of you. Any bright ideas, I kill all three, so behave.
I think back then, you know, in those days, they had less regard for human life than they do today. The Wild West was really the Wild West.
That is a young boy.
Great graphic.
Get the hell off our land.
If you ain't gonna be civilized about this.
You know, this is really, I mean, I would assume, I wasn't there back then, but I would assume that, you know, out in the West, man, they just fired away. They just shot. I think you saw shoot-ups like this quite a bit. I don't know if people realize, but there's something like 300 million illegal guns on the street. Whenever I wanted a gun back in the day, you know, I never had a license, obviously. I'm a convicted felon. Couldn't hold one now. There were weapons available, so easy to get. Even today, you know, if I needed a gun today, within a day, I'd have whatever I wanted. Yeah, it came after. It was really my father's involvement in that life that inspired me to be part of it. And a lot of the guys that I met, I liked the way they carried themselves. Joe Colombo was a prominent figure in my life. He was the boss at the time, very close to him. So he inspired me. So it was more people and just the way they conducted themselves.
Who took him?
You killed my son!
Oh, and I will surely kill the rest of them unless you start talking.
Oh, I know your type. Common scum.
She's got balls, huh?
Where is the boy?
You filth.
All right, we get her out of here.
I wonder if women were tough back then.
You boys sure Jack ain't in here? We searched everywhere, Dutch.
Well, it seems that her and her boys kidnapped the boy for some reason. They want her back. I think she's gonna die. So they're gonna take her, swap her for the boy.
I never liked you.
Why'd you take the boy, Mrs. Braithwaite?
You stole my
Boys are off
liquor.
limits.
You stole my horses. Ain't no rules in war, mister.
Matthews.
You know what? There are rules in war, but back then I don't think there were any.
My sons gave him to Angelo Bronte. So my guess is Saint Denis. Either there or on my boat to Italy.
Italy. That's it. Tell me you're gonna have mafia involved too.
I told you she was crazy.
They let her live? All right.
Luca here will take you to Mr. Bronte. I believe he is expecting you.
This still in the West?
As long as the man behaves himself, you know. Mr. Bronte, he has that thing, you know, respect.
Mr. Bronte sounds interesting.
So, this is Saint Denis High Society.
Yes, apparently so.
There's not class systems within the life, no. You know, you take that oath, everybody's supposed to be equal. Whether you're a soldier, a capo, a boss, you're all supposed to be equal in that regard. But, you know, in reality, obviously, you kind of separated yourself by the success that you had. If you were a big earner, if you were a boss, if you were part of the hierarchy, you obviously separated yourself from the soldiers. So even though it wasn't intentional, you know, you did get that separation in kind of class.
All these vulgar people, they hate me. Non vedo l'ora di guardarti morire.
You wonder how they were able to enforce the law back then. You could probably get away with just about anything. If people didn't give you up, you'd get away with anything back then.
I possess things that you will never understand.
You don't even possess your own men. $1,000 to the man who kills him and sets me free.
That was a stupid proposal.
What are you gonna say now?
They are even bigger fools than you.
No doubt.
But those cowboys are bold.
The dogs are on the way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're right. You are so right. They are good at smelling filth, huh? So filth has got to be this. What do you think, Arthur?
I don't see we have a lot of choice.
Cowboy gangster.
Here, we know we're dead, but the plan. We got a decent bunch. We know how to fight. The city cops don't seem so tough as long as we move fast.
You know, back then, though, the cops, law enforcement, they were just as tough as these train robbers, bandits.
Do it at night. There's the drama of just getting into the bank. Can't do that silently. They'll pick us off far easier.
I know. I'm just making sure.
Every plan is a good plan if we execute it properly.
I like every plan is a good, we execute it properly. Well, you know, whenever you're planning something, you always have to plan for a surprise. Quite often it doesn't always go exactly according to schedule, according to plan. You always got to plan for a surprise, something wrong. You have to have a contingency. If this happens, what do you do? New Orleans. Been there many times. It's still kind of a blast from the past. It really is.
Gentlemen, robbing thieves, it ain't no crime at all.
Robbing thieves ain't no crime. I agree with that. You know, back then, it seems these guys, cowboys, they went from one job to another. Whether it be a train robbery, a bank robbery, they went from one deal to another. That's how they earned. They didn't get involved in legit business. They just robbed.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a hold-up. Don't do nothing stupid.
You know, and unless there was law enforcement there on the spot, you got away. You know, you had a good shot of getting away.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, there was no button to push to call any police station. If there wasn't security on the spot, you got away with it. You know, back in the days, Dillinger, out in the Wild West, you know, Bonnie and Clyde days, it was so easy to rob a bank. And why wouldn't you? That's where all the money was. There's nothing definitive about that, but if you went to your boss and you said, listen, you know, I'm sick, I can't do this anymore, I got a health issue, I'll give you $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 and just let me quietly walk away without making a big deal, without making a splash, without making an announcement. There's ways to work that out, you know, even lie and say, look, my health is bad, you know, I can't really participate anymore. So there's ways to do it. Money always has impact. It all depends who you're dealing with. So yeah, there could be a situation you could buy your way out.
This is America. You can always cut a deal.
I've given you enough chances.
America, you can always... No, not always. Seems like the law had enough. They figured they got these guys cornered. Even if they're going to sacrifice somebody, they're going to...
There's your deal, Dutch.
No deals. You know, back then, wanted dead or alive, that was real. They didn't care how they brought you in, as long as they brought you in. There was a big mob president in New Orleans, Carlos Marcellus. He ran that city for quite some time. Still an influence there today, New Orleans.
They knew we were coming, just like your ferry job in Blackwall.
Always crack. Anytime you get caught, somebody gave you up. So often it happens that way.
Sorry, no, I have heard it before. And get that army man to pay his portage charge.
Yes, sir.
We are doing all we can within the confines of the law.
The law? I think we both know what you can do with your law.
So Cornwall owns everything. He's talking to what I think is guards. That's take down these cowboys, bandits, robbers, and so far, they've done a great job.
I'll tell you what. You give me this ship, $10,000, and safe passage out of here, I'll let you live.
He's talking about corporate greed. You know, some of the big guys on top, are they as bad as some of the guys they accuse to be bad? You know he's a killer, not afraid to kill. Why would you challenge him there? Well, no, it's both, you know. Loyalty is supposed to be inspired in you, obviously, when you take the oath, pledging your life to that life, so loyalty is big. But fear is a big part of it, too, because, you know, if you step out of line, you could pay for it with your life. There could be serious consequences. You know, there's a famous line in Bronx Tale, you know, is it better to be loved or feared? And, you know, the mob boss, Chaz Palminteri, says, well, it's better to be feared. And I disagree with that. In our life, in Cosa Nostra, there was fear involved of retaliation or consequence. You broke the rules. But what happened was, at a certain point in time, the fear from the mob was transferred to fear of the government when they came up with these racketeering laws. And so a lot of people started to flip and become informants because they were more afraid of doing 100 years in jail than they were of maybe losing their life. They knew the government would protect them. So when you're in fear with somebody, that fear can be transferred to someone else. When you love someone, you're not going to hurt them. You know, most of the time, you're gonna stand by them. You're gonna be loyal to them. So, you know, there's an element of both. But for me, better be loved than feared. I thought this was very realistic. Mob wasn't into train robberies and things like that. Obviously, it was a little bit different. But, you know, I could see them getting involved in that. I see the way these cowboys handled themselves. I mean, they were a rough group. I was wondering if they would have came up against us, you know, how would that have worked out? But yeah, I mean, I saw it as being pretty realistic, this one. You know, would they capture the mob guy and kidnap him? It wouldn't have been that easy. I think that they would have, you know, understood what those guys were doing in there. It wouldn't have been an easy task to kidnap a mob boss. That's not easy. Okay, that's it for now. For more expert reaction, go to Gamology on YouTube or Facebook. You can also visit me, michaelfrancis.com. I'm also on YouTube, social media, and enjoyed it. And that's it for today.